Hey, welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast. As you see, well, we got a lot of changes going on here. We're meeting out with people in the community. We feel like we're doing some more outreach and everything else like that. But, you know, in that aspect, I just got to say that I'm happy to invite this group of people here with me today. I know they're going to say group. There's only two of us. But it's the Walton Youth Community Project and everything that are joining us here today. So I would like to welcome Darren Simpson and Hannah McCullen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, as you could tell, that was totally improv.
At least it's not planned. That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not planned. Never planned. I mean, you know, but basically, you know, there are people that are probably out there that say, you know, the Walton Youth and Community Project, you know, are you talking about the Walton Youth Center and everything? Because you've been around for a long time. So I know Darren's been waiting to tell the history and everything like that. So, you know, and it changes. So go ahead. So you used to be the Walton Youth Center.
Yeah, so we date back to the 1960s. So one of
Whoa!
1960, yes, so 60 odd years old, 62 years old, nearly. So one of our trustees has been involved in Walton Youth Project since Walton Youth Centre, shall we call it, back in the 60s, based on Heathcote Road, and that was around until the late 80s, early 90s, when it was set on fire.
Wow.
We won't say who put it on fire, but it was a previous youth worker. We blame her for leaving the toaster on, but that's the myth. And anyway,
the rumours.
Yeah.
And then we set up as Walton Youth Project in 1994 as a charity, registered charity with the Charity Commission. And then about 10 years ago, we added the name Walton Youth and Community Project. And
Why
then
did you do that?
Why did we do that? Because since the 60s, we've been doing community work, but just not in our name. So we're working with the families of the children that we work with, and the community, doing community activities, whether that be stuff in the community or taking the communities on family trips. We've always done it. We've just never promoted it. So about 10 years ago, we changed the name to Walton Youth Project, but only officially 2020 we've officially registered it as Walton Youth and Community Project and rebranded. And there was a big competition and consultation with people about our logo, and the inside part of our logo has got the original logo that we had, which is about signposting and showing people a direction in life, and we've always kept that. And then we're built on now many of the people around the logo who are the
kind of like
community.
the Olympic rings.
Sort of bringing everybody together, yeah.
You know what the Olympic rings are, right? All right. It's kind of like that.
I'm not sure what the colours inspires, but we wanted it to be nice, bright, colourful, and to show people, actually, this is what we do.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, as it says on the tin, changing lives for the better. I mean, you know, already, you know, and looking at, I know people really probably can't see this and everything, but I'm pretty sure they can easily find your pamphlets and stuff. But just looking at an example of some of these trip outs and everything, I'm pretty sure, like, it's well received in the community, like being able to give young people the opportunity to travel, to see places. Give us an idea about like some of the places that they've gone to that they've been, you know, enamored by.
Yeah, so locally we go into the local parks, Walton Hall Park, the Res on Stewart Road. We'll go into Stanley Park and then obviously work on the streets as well. And we tend to stick in the county ward, but obviously the name is Walton, so we actually work in the constituency area of Walton. But actually we can cover the whole of Liverpool if we want to. But we tend to stick to the north of the city because that's where most of the deprivation is. Over the years, we've done trips up to Scotland. We've done Duke of Edinburgh trips to do the Gold Expedition. We've done coast-to-coast cycle ride from Whitehaven to Tynemouth, Newcastle, in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So I'm travelling there today to see the match tonight.
Nice one.
So Newcastle beat the Blues, I have to mention that. And then we've done the Caledonian Canal. We canoed that for 4 days for a Gold Expedition over Scotland, Loch Ness and stuff, which is fantastic.
So these are overnight trips? Or?
4 days overnight, yeah, camping, carrying everything you need for the 4 days.
So how's that been? I mean, really? I mean, because, I mean, I don't want to, like, spark any, you think, but you know what I'm saying? Like, working with kids in these areas, You know what I mean? How's that really been? You know what I mean? Since you've been there a long time, Darren. You know what I mean? We get these kids to some place and everything like that, you know, and they've never really been in an overnight trip somewhere before.
Yeah.
And
25 years in February it is, isn't it? 1998 I started. Every day has been different. I've never had one day the same. And I think the beauty of youth work is that young people, our relationship with young people and the children is all voluntary. So they come to us because they want to work with us. We're not a statutory organisation like social services or the police. They come and get involved. Yes, we all have our ups and down days, and as youth workers I think we're quite good at recognising that, you know, a kid can be having an angry stage, having an outburst, but actually that's not the end of the day, you know. You can come back and engage with us another day. It's not.
Yeah, but I don't mean like that. I mean like as you were telling me, you know, like they're on a bus and like they're going out outside of the city and they see grass or they see.
Well, some of the comments, like
that's what I mean.
When we take them away, like it's, you know, just going up to Yorkshire to a centre called Playaway, which has got an outdoor heated swimming pool. When can you take a kid from the middle of the city to an outdoor heated swimming pool in the middle of, well, we're going up on bonfire weekend in a couple of weeks, you know, freezing cold, swimming outside, the waters were nice and warm, you know, and just having that feeling of warmth and cold outside in a swimming pool, you just don't get that in the city.
No, exactly, man. I mean, I'm from Harlem. You hear my New York accent and everything like that. And I used to be a part of what they call the Fresh Air Fund. And, you know, that's where, you know, you take the kids out of the city, you know, the concrete jungle, and into, you know, like the countryside. And it's a big difference, and they do really appreciate it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's about supposed reputation that they have, you know. It's like, you know, like you're an organization that has probably been around so much that they can respect the fact that hey, listen, you know what I mean? We're taking you somewhere, not just for your enjoyment, but for your education, for your enlightenment and everything. And so I'm pretty sure it's been a really good experience.
I think every trip we do is completely different. Even though it's the same place, different young people, the same young people, they help each other out. I've been before, I'll show you around. And it just builds that spirit of connectivity with people as well. And, you know, you're driving along the bus, and I drive the minibus, and then you can hear the conversations in the back of the bus like, oh my God, how green the grass is. Yeah. What's that? And it's a sheep. Yeah. You know, and you're like,
yeah, it's like the little it's the simple things, isn't it? I think we don't appreciate it as much as they do sometimes.
Yeah, because we go all the time and we see it all the time. You know, we do 4 or 5 residentials a year. Wow. And we do like working weekends up there as well, so giving something back. So the centre not pay us, but pay for like the accommodation, the transport and food. And then we go and work on the land. So like chopping down trees, making things for pig dens and stuff like that. We're the beginning of January, and giving them young people the chance to go there as well and give something back, and planting trees, and 10 years later they can come back and go, they planted that tree. You know what I mean? It's like a legacy. Like there's trees there that were planted 25 years ago when I first set up, like, you know. And it's like,
I can imagine.
Great then. Like if someone sadly passes away, they'll do a memorial tree, and then they'll go and pay their respects and stuff. And it's just a place of, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think there's anywhere like it.
No.
I mean, you know, I just think that a lot of people don't understand that much about what an organization like yours does for people, you know, in the long run, you know, and that kind of stuff. Especially it's something as simple as providing outreach trips and everything else like that. Now, also too is like it seems like I'm catching you, you know, like what do you call that? Second hand, because you're on Snelly and everything. Talking about not even something new, but something that was just redecorated. Your mobile youth bus, and everything like that, which you seem to be pretty proud of and everything. So
we are. So we were asset transferred a mobile youth bus, which belonged to the city council back in 2016.
So what did they do? Did they give it to you? Donate it to you?
Yeah, so they donated us to a number of organisations to use, and basically it was an ugly duckling. I call it the ugly duckling, basically, because nobody liked it but me. No. And I just kept playing on it and trying to get people involved and pushing it. And then last year, Hannah was instrumental and found a crowdfunding campaign website called Space Hive, and Do you want to talk about it, actually? Because I've talked about it, haven't I? Like,
Yeah, Hannah.
Because you were instrumental to it and making it work.
I mean, to me, it looks like the Partridge Family bus, but that's me if you're from New York. But go ahead.
Well, I think it was the first summer whenever I had started. It was COVID, and I think that was the project for the summer, was doing up the bus. And painting the inside, and there was little bits on the inside of the bus where someone had painted it one colour one summer, and then there was another part that had been painted another summer, and it was such a good asset, and it has been such a good asset since we got it done up, that I just wanted to see it recognised for that, because whenever
we definitely can recognise it.
Well, you can definitely recognise it now, yeah. But before, it was just a white van, and we were using it, and we were able to use it, but it wasn't getting the recognition. It was kind of getting a little bit weird glances.
That must be strange, the whole white van going out at night.
Yeah, it wasn't giving off good vibes.
I don't think because you guys do the night stuff as well.
I don't think we can call it a white van, because it definitely wasn't white.
It was a bit off colour.
Yeah, and it was half so the previous organisation, the City Council Youth Service, had it wrapped, but that had half been peeled off before we took ownership of it. So it was like half there, and we didn't have the money to do it. And we it come to I think it was when we did the bridge project with Culture Liverpool. It was like there was basically this big massive theatrical performance, wasn't it, with Imagineer, and we were getting involved building bridges out of Da Vinci's. What was it?
It was Da Vinci's Bridge, so building using friction. So it was a design that young people could build together. So we had these big logs, so we brought them with us onto site with the bus. Right. And on all the photos, all you can see is this little white bus just in the corner, and you wouldn't know it was us from all of those photos. So it was like, how can we get that to look like it belongs to us almost? Yeah. So that's why we reached out to Huge Media, who work in Speak, to see what they could do with the bus, brought it down to them. They had a look. I think it was about 8 months of going back and forth on designs, as Darren was very picky.
The designs, I didn't do nothing.
So back and forth on the designing, so their team designed it for us, and we worked together with them to do that, and then...
well, it's different.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It looks different. I should show you the picture of what it did look like.
Different and unique, how shall we say.
Yeah. It catches eyes now for a better reason, because people see it and it's nice and bright, and they see the logo and it's got all the info, and it's like, that's yours.
When you're driving around, you just see people sort of stop, and then you can see the head turning to watch it go past, and it's like, we're getting noticed. And then we got some funding from Liverpool One Foundation, and they then invited us to take the bus to do some mental health awareness. So we got selling headphones, so we're doing some what's it called, what was that, guided therapies. So you put the headphones on and have a listen to this track.
So they come onto the bus and
no, they were just sitting on the chairs, so and the bus middle, outside, and just looking up, like, with the bus all decorated where the Christmas tree normally is. So hundreds and thousands of people walking past it.
Yeah, it was pretty busy, so everyone just walking past, and then they could just take 5 minutes out of their day to sit and relax, and that's where we had the bus then, and people were just looking at it, and that it advertises itself. So I think it's paid back how much it cost.
So it's kind of like dividends. A backdrop, like you go and park the bus somewhere, and then people could see the bus that is over there, and then and everything. But I guess what I was just thinking about was because when we usually see mobile buses and stuff like that, sometimes they do it like for books, like for book reading,
like a mobile library,
or they do it for sexual health, like you said, like at night, like they're offering.
So one side on the bus, it's got like a U-shaped seated area, so we can. So as part of our funding we got from the community cashback off the police, we take it with to the McDonald's stores in Walton, and basically we're having a bit of trouble with young people hanging around, causing some bother inside the stores, so we'll go and park it up, work in partnership with them, and
so that way they can see that you're out there.
And then the kids can come onto the bus as well then, and then we'll go into the restaurants and we'll talk to the kids that way, but then they have that backdrop of seeing the bus. And sort of like there's on the bus now, so we got some funding off Talk Future Fibre Fund just a few weeks ago, so we've now decorated the interior, which wasn't supposed to start until January, so we've started phase 2 to do the interior to make it look more attractive, because it was quite drab on the inside, and as Hannah said before, it was painted multicolored,
yeah,
by different people at different times of the year and over the years. So now it's all being wrapped by ourselves, and we took it to the Labour Party conference. We were invited by the National Youth Agency to showcase
the recent one
in Liverpool, just to showcase what we did, and giving out all of our pamphlets and stuff like that, and speaking to MPs, speaking to the party leaders and stuff like that, and about what youth work is like on a local level, and how we grow our own young people and volunteers who come and then into paid members of staff, and basically just showing it off, really, because obviously National Youth Agency look as a national award and body for youth work, so they talk to them about policy making and stuff, and they wanted to showcase what is done on a local level as well, so a fantastic opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we're going to run, so we've started doing some mobile cinemas.
Like what did they call them? Open air cinemas.
Yeah, so open air cinema. Yeah, so we did one recently with Culture Liverpool and
Cinema Nation,
looking at some old archive footage. So we've got a 20-foot inflatable screen projector, and the projector can be based on the bus, or we can run the power from there and have it off the bus.
Yes.
And then the screen's off the bus, and got some deck chairs and stuff. But the best thing is we got the headphones, which are run on a frequency, so it's silent, so everything you hear.
Kind of like if it was
silent disco.
Car.
Yeah, so silent disco basically, and we can do silent discos. We did that at the Labour Party conference, so we're not having the noise pollution if we had big speakers and stuff like that. So we've got 50 headsets that we can do, and families can come and watch a film. So we're going to be doing some film stuff as well. So it should be quite interesting.
That's fantastic idea.
Just taking it out and about, innit?
Yeah, I think the bus means we can take anything that we can think of out, and I mean, there's no end to the possibilities that we can use the bus for, really.
And the
sounds like you're the man there, Darren. Are these all your ideas? Or
well, everybody can share.
I think he comes up with the crazy ideas, and then we have to kind of ask a couple more questions to make sure that they're able to be done.
Of course. It's my brain, and it just works.
But I think the kids bring some of the ideas as well, and we're like, why not? Like, why?
Well, no, that's great, because basically, we talk a lot to youth organizations, and we find, especially up in the North End, is that sports seems to be the thing. Or what they are told is the thing. Like, a lot of kids are sporty, so there's always have like boxing or football, footy, and everything like that. And you were saying that you do other things beyond all that, you know what I mean? But one of the sports things that I thought was interesting was this whack-it-ball thing you were trying to describe, and you couldn't describe it.
It's hard to describe because
whack-it-ball.
Yeah, whack-it-ball is.
It's kind of like bullseye.
A little bit like that when you whack the ball, isn't it? Like, it's a combination. It's from the Netherlands. Some guy in Helen Webster who does fitness fun. Forget a company now, but she has a few companies as well, and we're looking to get some interactive playground stuff as well. We'll talk about that later, though. But Whack-A-Ball, she's got the license to train instructors, so all of our staff team have been trained as an instructor of Whack-A-Ball, and it's a drum with a little round table on the top, isn't it? And then there's a little spot on there, and you have to bounce the ball, hit the ball off the floor, and then you bounce it onto the tabletop, and then the next person gets it. But then you've got a little space around it. I'm not really describing this very well.
No.
Well, you said it was kind of a combination of squash and tennis.
Yeah. And then the idea is to make sure you're the opponent.
Yeah, you did do better.
Yeah, you did do better, yeah.
It's supposed to be a more...
drum and then a minute.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a more inclusive sport because there's no real speed to it. You can do it at your own pace, so it's ideal for like young people learning it, or even adults, or any age really, isn't it? So it works well for our projects.
Well, I mean, but what I thought was interesting is that, when you working in these youth clubs, and you're trying to figure out how do we engage young people, not just like say give them video games and TV, because they could do that at home and stuff like that, and then I was asking you about like coding, which is a new thing. And then Darren was honest, I don't know nothing about coding.
No.
I don't think anybody knows.
I think, to be fair, I've always wanted to build an app. I have no idea how to start.
No, but then Hannah said.
Yeah, well, we had National Coding Week happens every year, and one of the years we decided to offers some of those STEM related activities.
I meant when you were saying that there were kids who know how to do coding.
Well, yeah, during that week, I tried my very best to understand Scratch, which is a coding system, and then the young people in the session were able to explain it a lot better than me, and to teach other young people. So they were showing them how to make games on it and to use it, because that's what they learn in school.
But isn't that fantastic though? I mean, like, that's probably like some kid that is in his room, you know, like self-teaching himself because I'm just that kind of kid. But then, you know, you offer the opportunity where it's like, okay, now I'm like a superstar because I know what you don't know. Yeah, and for us to just take a step back and for that young person to explain their skills and to other young people asking them questions and they feel like they're the expert, like it does so much for their confidence. And that skill's so beneficial, I think, now going into the workplace as well. And they teach us as well, don't they, as well? It's a two-way thing, so we have informal education, but they know some more stuff than us sometimes, and that's what we say to them. We're not scared to say, we don't know that. So they not only do they teach the other young people, but they also teach us as well. It's like, as you said, they teach us, we teach them, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, that's a good motto that like to have. But you were also saying it's like, because this could lead you into like doing a little bit more STEM projects, which is a new thing, which again, you're willing to admit, I'm not really too clued up on that. But that doesn't mean that you don't provide the access of learning and opportunity to do it, right? Yeah, they've got the space in our youth club where they can access the computers to learn about coding, or that we can bring in other people, because we're not trained in everything, and we very clearly say we're not experts on everything, are we? So where we can bring in other people to talk about stuff that the young people are interested in, we will do so. So it's about widening their opportunities and with the STEM stuff as well. So we've got like one of our trustees now who was a young person, then a volunteer, then an apprentice, then a paid member of staff, and now is on our board of trustees. She's big. She got a PhD in theoretical physics or something like that. And anyway, I don't know, it's smashing atoms and stuff. Ambitions to be an astronaut as well, which is fantastic as well, and was on the BBC program, Are You Good Enough to Be an Astronaut? She was instrumental of STEM stuff and getting people involved in STEM, so we got a grant many years ago of purchasing a lot of STEM stuff, and one of the best ones I love is the robots. We have programmable robots called Trax, which is based on the Mars rover. So the rover that's on Mars going around, you have to program it to go through little areas and stuff. So go forward 4 spaces, turn left 90 degrees, and then go forward and backwards. I was like, it's like that movie, batteries not included. Unfortunately, the batteries are included on this one. So, and they do run out quite quickly. But the kids love that because it's like it's an interactive thing that's programmable. They choose the destination of where it's going as well in it. And then we've got like circuit boards, so they build the circuits where they can then get like these flying saucer type things that when you program it around, you press the button, it goes flying off in the air, and they're like, whoa, look at that, the grate on, you set the light off, or set a buzzer off, an alarm, and that gets them thinking about how things in life works as well, like you know, wiring in your home and stuff. It's all about life skills, isn't it, as well? No, it's definitely. But that's what I'm trying to say is that like just because you are a youth club or an activity center or whatever way people want to pigeonhole you, doesn't mean that you can't offer various different opportunities such as life skills, like as you was also saying about like cookery and all of that other kind of stuff, because there's so many people who have a varied amount of interests and everything, and they just need to be able to have a place that can explore that. I think one of the society tries to put everybody into one box. Exactly, and I think we're not one box people. Yeah, nobody is a one box. So we, you know, and it's about us identifying ourselves. We can't do that. So who's our partners? Who can we reach out to go, can you help us with this? Can you deliver this session? Can that young person go there? Can we give them that information? So it's not about us keeping hold of that young person. It's about going, here's an opportunity. It's not with us though, but you know, go and get involved. And that's what we're key for, is that we don't want to keep hold of the young people. It's about opening their horizons, because there's a bigger world out there, you know, when we don't know everything. We're not experts, are we? Although I think I'm an expert in everything. We like to think. No, exactly. I know Darren likes to think that. But also too is that another way for you to actually reach out to these people? Because I understand that you have placement students, volunteers from college. What college are you working with?
So we've got Liverpool Hope University.
That's where you came from, is it?
It is, yeah. That's where I started in from, yeah. So I
started there, and now she runs the program.
Yeah, she bosses
I like to think I run
all
the program,
staff and volunteers boss me around, don't they? Like, you know.
Yeah.
We're a very...
But we get placement students for youth work. So Hannah was on placement with us, now employed by us. We have John Moores University, Edge Hill University, and then we have local colleges as well. So Hugh Bird, Liverpool Community College and stuff like that. They've sent young people to us as well as local secondary schools as well have come and done their placements with us. So like from Alltop School and stuff like that, they've come and had 2 weeks.
But then,
placements.
like, you can actually what do you call it? Identify, like your needs and everything, and then be able to say, like, if it was like he bad, like, oh well, you do makeup or hair or whatever, something like that, or you do coding, you do STEM and everything like that. So
so there's different. I mean, especially in the colleges and stuff, it's like we need this support, so we're reaching out for sport stuff. We're also reaching out about how do we gather our data, but what do we do with the data, and how, in terms of our strapline, changing lives for the better? How do we prove that we're changing lives for the better? So we're working with John Moores University to try and get some evidence-based that has got some theory behind it, that is going to hold up when we do our reports to our funders and stuff like that, say this is changing the lives for the better. And one of the big things for us as well is having placement students, but growing your own, having young people who've been part of the project, who come in and then volunteer, and then they take up paid members of staff as well. So we had Libby, who's been involved with us. Libby's going to kill me for mentioning her again, but she's been with us since she was 4. She's 18 in January, and she basically runs my job now, doesn't she? She's the boss of Walton Youth Project.
Little Darren,
She'll tell the staff, you're not doing that properly, you need to do this. But she's been through all the projects, the family projects, the youth clubs. She's involved, she's planning and stuff like that, and she knows the place. She's got, when we did an instrumental in lockdown, when we were doing like food parcels, ringing me up going the next day, are we doing the parcels tomorrow? We need to be in for 10 o'clock. Oh, sorry, boss. Yeah, we're doing that, Libby. Yeah, no problem. Her and Callie are doing that, and then giving out 2,500 food parcels since May 21. And they've been instrumental to changing the work, and that's what it's about. It's about going, you're part of that. We're growing you. We're dropping the seed, and you're coming to fruition.
It's a testament to what your your agency, your service, your project does. I mean, like for somebody like her to grow up, or and do what she's doing, or the other girl who wants to be an astronaut. I mean, like we have a young man that's working here. He's like an engineer now. He's actually engineering the podcast right now, and stuff like that. No, you don't get to come on camera, Taylor.
He wants to be on Taylor, but Taylor was part of our project as well.
But he can't say enough about his time that he spent in with your project and everything else like that. But then I'm pretty sure it's also good because it does me good. I've been teaching in Liverpool for like 18 years and stuff, and it does me good to see where the young people end up. And so here he is, not only just like, a strong worker here and everything, running his own classes, he has his own business and everything. I could talk about you, Taylor, but you can't talk about yourself. But but that he's a proud member of your project that he grew up in.
When he rang us to say, oh, can you come and do the podcast, and even saying, oh, I love the way you've been involved in the project, take me away on residentials, and just having a chat before we come on air about how we spoke to his mum and that to get him to come on a residential, and he's not been away on before, and trying to ease his mum to say he'll be fine, we can look after him, if any problems we'll call you and stuff, and just and hearing that, and that's the beauty of youth work is funders want us to go, how far has this kid travelled in the space of a year when we've give you that money? But you know what, Taylor's been involved in the project probably 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's telling us this is how it changed, this is what it did for me,
the memories and stuff like that,
and was like, actually we didn't capture that back in the day, which what the funders want. So the impact of youth work sometimes isn't until 5, 10, 20 years later. Do you remember when we took you on that residential to Linguin, and we're doing the canoeing and stuff like that, and we're in the middle of it, and we're camping out, and you're like, do Jeez, just, and we did Switzerland. We did skiing holiday in Switzerland for 2 years, and some of the kids had never had a passport, never been out of the city, and then we're taking them on a coach to Switzerland skiing for 5 days. It was 9 days in total because you had to stay on the bus for 2 days, But then the second year we did it, we actually flew out. But speaking to those kids, it's like, I can go anywhere now. I've been on the broad with the passport because we funded the passport when there was a lot of money around. Like, you were able to get money to get them out of the city.
I think each young person has their own story as well, or they have their own specific memories, and it's only whenever they come back and have a couple of years away from the project and come back, and you get parents who are going, I used to attend your youth club and my kids are going to start now. It's a full family approach, and you're getting generation after generation engaging.
Makes me feel old now. We've got parents of parents. Well, kids of the pit.
The parents are coming in.
The way I look at it is like the kids that I used to teach are now parents.
Yeah.
And they're coming in and going, I remember Darren, and I remember this, and I remember that, and it's
what's your name again? No, I remember last week. But I mean, that's the beauty, because when I was at that age as well, it's like I got given opportunities through the youth project that I was involved in Newcastle. National Trust in a city project, a sail from New Zealand to Australia, give me the independent skills, and that's why I do get up in the morning and do the job. Is about giving young people opportunities to change, to see the bigger world as well. It's fantastic. Every day is different.
Well, I mean, I myself used to work at the Walton Youth Project way back in the day.
Yes, I found the YouTube video.
Yeah, YouTube video. Everything's on YouTube. Whatever you do, don't get caught. But either way you look at it is that. But lastly, I just want to just talk about, as you kind of were hinting at, it's like what I'm looking at is like cross-pollination, because it's like basically we are like one of many groups that work with the HAF Foundation, which is a great organization, providing organizations like ourselves to provide healthy meals and activities for young people and everything else like that. But then again is the fact that each organization has its own unique quality to it. You know what I mean? And so in that aspect, it's like Sports Alive, we were talking about them, and you were talking about working with them, and they got 2 pitches or something like that, and so maybe we could go and use that pitch, or we as an organization, we have podcasts or music or whatever. It's like, hey, well, maybe you want a day where you could come and do some podcasting. But I mean, I just think that a lot of organizations should think more about that. It's not about the recruitment or the numbers on your list. It's really about providing a day activity where your organization is like, hey, I know an organization that does this.
Indeed. I mean, we do a lot of collaboration. So we have a project called the Voluntary Outreach Support Service, which is part of Sports Alive, Positive Futures, and that's a National Lottery funded project up until March. We're doing a resubmission for funding for that as well. But that's about us working together. So we do group work activities, we do detached youth work, and then we do one-to-one support. And the key thing of it is that when we're doing detached youth work, we know when our teams are out on the streets. We are complementing each other. We're not competing. We are not duplicating. And it's about going, when are you out? What are you doing? Okay, you're out that same day as us, so we'll move. Or can you move it and change it based on the needs of the kids? And I think that's key to people. Sometimes people are really precious, but it's about, no, we should be working together holistically to go, these are the opportunities for young people.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it'd be great to do some.
Because we still are the ones who offered them that opportunity and everything else like that. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. But either way, I just want to thank you guys for coming in. I gave you more time than Snell did. But, I mean, I'm hoping you appreciated it. But
I am going on another podcast in a few more weeks.
Oh, really? It won't be as good as me. But either way you look at it is, if people wanted to get involved with the Walton Youth Project, how could they do that?
Yeah, so we've got
Walton Youth Community
Walton Youth and Community Project. Yeah, I still call it Walton Youth Project and have to correct myself. But we've got social media, so we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn.
No TikTok?
We do have a TikTok, but we don't use TikTok because TikTok's just like the reels on Instagram.
Yeah, we're only just starting. I think the young people are going to have to teach us how to use it before we can start. That's a learning experience.
Can you imagine Darren on TikTok?
That's what we're worried about.
Well, I'm not allowed to do the social media because I'm just like, youth night's on tonight. And then these have it all animated and stuff like that. I have got better though. But contact us on social media. Messaging comes to all the team. You can email us at contact@wycp.uk. Telephone number 0151 521 2839. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of other ways.
We've got our website as well, which has like a little glimpse into every project, I think, and has some stories of what's been going on. So I think that's a real
you can sign up
capture.
to the newsletter on the website, and you'll get like case studies and that as well. Find out what's going on.
It's free, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because the reason why I'm only just saying that is like because of the opportunities that you've mentioned today, you know, like there might be some young people who may have not come across it, or there might be some parents who like, oh, I think my child would be interested.
Yeah, I mean, we do have we have subs, so it's 50p. So when I say it's free, we have discretion, so it's not a you have to pay your 50p. We know that some people.
Oh well, obviously, come through the door with something, man.
Helps
you know, come on.
Yeah. We always find as well if you contribute to something, you feel more part of it.
That's true.
Rather than having the hand on plate. So like we obviously do food. We get the Tesco, Asda, KFC, Nando's, Pret. They all donate their food.
I'm going.
Surplus. Yeah, the Pret buddies last week were really nice, weren't they?
They were.
Did you have one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
the duck one was really nice. But we give them to the kids as well, you know. But it's about we know what kids don't need it, but they want to be part of it. Oh, well, I'll help you with the tuck shop instead. Yeah. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Money shouldn't be a barrier to young people accessing opportunities.
No, exactly.
And I think we have that conversation with each individual, so they're not missing out because of if they haven't got a 50p one night or they're not able to fund a trip. Like, we'll find ways around it, and we always have done. I think we don't want to exclude anybody based on that, especially in this climate as well.
Yeah, I guess that was meaning like where you take them overnight trips and stuff like that and everything.
So we ask, donation depending on the funding that we get. So we get a fully funded one, that's fine. We'll ask for a donation, a contribution towards it. But again, some young people don't have it. Yeah, you know, and we have that discretionary. We know you need to go away. Yeah, and we'll speak to the parents. Go, don't you worry about the money. If you want to contribute towards it, do it in your own time. If you don't have it, that's perfectly fine. We'll find it the other ways though.
We've got that relationship with families and young people as well, that we can have those conversations, which I think is so beneficial.
And it's cost effective as well in terms of like if you go away to school, it's £150 for a weekend. You know, it's between £20 and £40 depends on there. You know, that's just what happens sometimes, and it's free as well sometimes as well. So.
Well, with that kind of ethos, we can understand why an organization such as this has been around for 60 some odd years and everything. So I would like to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Darren and Hannah and everything. The Walton Youth Community Project, you know, definitely something that if you're in the north end of town, you should be a part of. You know, this has been the Liverpool Community Podcast. You know, this is all new, whatever. I'm trying to close out without the ad-lib. But either way, I usually take my headphones and say, okay, I'm out of here. But yeah, I'll just say it, I'm out of here. Peace.